There is so much horror to stream right now. Strap in, I'm about to give you so many horror movies to watch this Halloween.
What do I want? I want to play a game.
Hi guys, this is Josh with Let's Play a Game. Today I'm going to give you a bunch of horror movies to watch on streaming channels. We will start off with Tubi. Tubi is a completely free streaming service, but they have so many horror movies that you can watch for Halloween, leading into Halloween. And I will give you some other streaming services of horror movies to watch on, like Netflix, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, and Shudder. But first, let's start out with Tubi, and I will be putting chapter selections for each streaming service so you can find which streaming service you're looking for. But I'm giving you a lot of horror movies to watch. I'm going to go through these as quick as I can. I ain't going to say too much about each movie because this video would be an hour long. But let's go to Tubi first. Like I said, it's a completely free streaming service. Over on Tubi right now, you can watch Saw 1 through 7, the entire original 7 movies of Saw. If you've never seen Saw, this is a perfect time to watch this series. This is my favorite series of all time. And it's kind of like a cop thriller series, but it's kind of a slasher series in a way, but people are in traps instead of like a knife killing people. But I think this is one of the best horror series of all time, and I think Jigsaw is a great killer. Saw 1 through 7 is on Tubi. Definitely check that series out if you've never seen it, or rewatch it because Saw X just came out. And I'm going to give you another suggestion because of the Saw movies. Boogeyman 2 is on there. This isn't the best movie ever, but Tobin Bell is in this movie. And if you're kind of on a high after watching Saw X and you want more Tobin Bell, check out Boogeyman 2. It was like a direct-to-DVD movie, but it was an okay, decent sequel to the 2000s Boogeyman. I actually kind of enjoyed it, maybe because Tobin Bell is in that movie a little bit. So yeah, Boogeyman 2. Now I'm going to tell you guys to watch Terrifier. Terrifier is on Tubi. I absolutely love Terrifier 1 and 2, and Art the Clown is just such a fun slasher villain. So yeah, if you like 80s slashers, watch Terrifier. Now watch Mayhem. This stars Samara Weaving. I love her. And Glenn from The Walking Dead. It's like a virus breaks out in an office building. If you've never seen this is a pretty fun movie. So there is Mayhem. Alright, next I'm going to tell you to watch Clown. This is a clown movie, but a very well done clown film because a guy puts on a clown costume and he slowly becomes an evil clown. Very good, very underrated movie. Alright, watch on Tubi, watch Wolf Creek 1 and 2. This is such a great Australian slasher film. I think the villain, Mick Taylor, is a very good villain. And I love the slow buildup of the first Wolf Creek, and then the second Wolf Creek is a really fun slasher sequel. Both of these movies are definitely worth your time. Both great movies. Now if you want some 80s cheesy fun, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Killer Clowns from Outer Space start killing people, like putting people in cotton candy. It's a bonkers movie, but I highly recommend Killer Clowns from Outer Space if you just want a cheesy good time. Alright, they have the My Bloody Valentine remake on Tubi. This is a very fun remake, and it's got the guy Dean from Supernatural. It's a very fun remake. It's a little cheesy. They shot it in 3D, but I think the miner's kind of a really cool killer, and I like the killer reveal and everything in this movie. So if you like slasher films and a fun time, My Bloody Valentine remake is very good. Also a very fun cheesy time, they have Puppet Master The Littlest Reich. This is one of the newer Puppet Master films, but there's non-stop kills in this movie, and it's such a good time. Barbara Crampton is in this movie. If you like Puppet Master and you've never seen this one, this is a very fun movie in my eyes. Very low budget, but lots of gore, lots of mayhem, so highly recommend that one. If you want more slasher movies, but set in the woods like Friday the 13th, they have the entire Hatchet series, and you got Jason Voorhees himself as Victor Crowley in this, Kane Hodder. So if you just want a cheesy slasher movies series set in the woods that's not Friday the 13th, Hatchet is a fun kind of 2000s one to go. So, and there's a lot of cool horror icons in those movies. All right, also on Tubi, watch the Mother's Day remake. This is a very good remake, a lot of really good cast, pretty suspenseful movie. They got Rebecca De Mornay from The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. If you've never seen that 90s movie, she's really good in this remake, and she's the mother, and she's pretty creepy, and just a pretty non-stop suspenseful movie that I really enjoy. So check out the Mother's Day remake. All right, now let's go serious and dark. A foreign film called Martyrs. I absolutely love this movie. This movie is very gory. This movie is very intense, and it kind of twists and turns throughout the movie, like a really good plot. So if you just want something very dark this Halloween to watch, Martyrs is a good one to go. All right, next thing on Tubi you should watch is Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. This is a horror comedy, but this movie is so fun, and it kind of goes in a little bit different directions in the third act, but I love this movie. And if you want some horror with just a really fun comedy vibe also, definitely watch Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Such a fun movie. I love this movie. Now let's go found footage. The Fourth Kind is like an alien invasion type film, but like done with found footage. This has a very good creepy vibe to it. I thought this was a very well done found footage movie, and it kind of gets under your skin a little bit. So if you want a creepy vibe alien film, I say The Fourth Kind is a really good one. All right, now we got Frozen. Frozen is like about three people that get stuck on a ski lift, or like the whole movie set on the ski lift, and they gotta try to figure out how to get down from there and survive. Very well done movie, very intense, and I don't hear a whole lot of people ever talking about this Frozen. So, alright, it's definitely not Disney. Now let's go to a 90s slasher, Urban Legend. This is sort of a Scream knockoff from the late 90s, but I think it's a really fun one, and it's actually pretty good, and it holds up very well. I think this has a really cool, fun killer reveal, and I think the killer themselves is really fun. So it's a whodunit about a slasher killer that kills people based on urban legends. What a fun movie. If you've never seen this one, I highly recommend this. If you like the vibe of Scream at all, check out Urban Legend. It's a very fun Scream knockoff, if you want to call it that. Alright, now I'm going to tell you to watch Stir of Echoes on Tubi. This is a very good ghost movie it came out the same year as The Sixth Sense. This stars Kevin Bacon. This is a really fun one that I highly recommend. So if you've never seen this one, check this one out. It's got some cool vibes and a very underrated film from '99. It was definitely overshadowed by The Sixth Sense, but high recommend on Stir of Echoes. Alright, now let's go to Exorcist 3. This is the best Exorcist sequel that I've seen. It has a really good vibe. It's a little bit different of a story than the first movie, but this is the true Exorcist sequel. You could skip number 2, and good time to watch this movie because Exorcist Believer is coming out in theaters this weekend. So Exorcist 3, such a good movie. Brad Dourif is in there. George C. Scott is really good in this movie. Watch this movie if you've never seen it. The best Exorcist sequel I've ever seen. Alright, I got a few more movies on Tubi for you guys to watch, horror films. So the next one is called Inside. This was released in 2016. Read the description because there's another Inside on Tubi, but this one is about a pregnant woman. This other woman gets obsessed with her and her baby. It's such a very suspenseful film, and this is one that nobody ever talks about. But when I watched this, I was very surprised by this movie. Really enjoyed this movie. So check out Inside from 2016. It's the pregnant woman one. There's another one on Tubi, but watch the pregnant woman Inside. Very good movie. Now let's go for more horror fun. All Cheerleaders Die. Very cheesy movie, but it's a very fun movie. I had really fun with this, and like this is another one that nobody talks about. I think this one came out like 10 years ago. There's hot woman in this movie. It's kind of a witch movie. You just gotta watch this movie. This is a very, very fun time. That if you just want more cheesy fun that's from 10 years ago, All Cheerleaders Die is just a blast. Watch that movie. Alright, the last horror movie on Tubi I'm going to tell you to watch is the 80s slasher, Slumber Party Massacre. This is a very fun 80s slasher, very low budget, but you got like a killer going around with like drill, called the Driller Killer. I always have fun when I watch this movie, so if you just want an 80s slasher you've never seen, Slumber Party Massacre is a really good one to go. So that was all the horror movies I had on Tubi, but now let's go to a different streaming service. Let's go to HBO Max. I got a few horror movies for you guys to watch on HBO Max. They have the entire Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street series. What a perfect time to go rewatch those movies. I love a lot of those movies in those series. Not every movie's great, but they have the entire series and the remakes and Freddy vs. Jason. So there you go. You have a marathon for the rest of the month if you want to. But yeah, all of Nightmare on Elm Street, all of Friday the 13th. I couldn't believe they had everything on HBO Max from both series. I thought that was awesome. Alright, they also have Barbarian. Now, Barbarian is a very, very good movie that came out last year. It starts off one way, then it kind of twists about halfway through, but you got Justin Long in here, and you got Bill Skarsgård, the guy who played Pennywise. Very good movie. I won't even say anything else about it, but if you have, for some reason, never watched this one, it was a big surprise of last year for me. HBO Max also has Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. Now this movie just gets you in the Halloween vibes. This movie just feels like the fall and Halloween, and it's just a really good movie too, and I love the look of this movie. It just puts you in the Halloween spirit, and it's really well done movies, and Johnny Depp is pretty good in this movie too. So if you just want to get in that Halloween fall vibe, Sleepy Hollow is a great one to do that one with. They also got The Descent 1 and 2. This is like about a group of girls that go into a cave. They get stuck down there, that's all I'll say, but it gets more intense as the movie goes along. And I do think the sequel is very underrated, and you should watch that one too. But if you just want to be down in a dark cave, and it's a very claustrophobic movies too. So I think both of these movies are really, really good. If you never saw these are great horror films. Now, a home invasion flick that's a kind of a little underrated, I think. You're Next. This is a very well done home invasion film. If you've never seen this one, check this one out. It's just a really good time, and I kind of like the simple mask and everything, but there's some really good intense scenes in this movie, and I just think this is a really good movie that I think more people need to see. You're Next. Alright, the last horror film on HBO Max I'm going to tell you to watch is Blair Witch. This is like the 2016 one. This isn't the original. I really enjoy this one. It's kind of a loose remake, but it's like actually like a sequel to the Blair Witch Project. But I like this one a little more because everybody has a camera, and it feels like this movie moves at a better pace than the Blair Witch Project. I actually thought this was kind of a really good found footage movie. I'm not the biggest fan of found footage films, but I thought Blair Witch was a really good time, so I say definitely check out Blair Witch. Alright, that was all the horror films from HBO Max to watch this October. Now let's go to Netflix. First movie I want to tell you to watch on Netflix, the Fear Street trilogy. I really enjoyed this trilogy, especially 1994, the first one. I loved that movie, and then the second one was like a 80s slasher vibe, but it was like 1978, but it really has that Friday the 13th vibe. And then the third one was set like they went back to like the 1600s because this is like a witch movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed this trilogy, and it was, I think, watch them back to back. It's actually a really, really solid trilogy and a fun time. So, Fear Street trilogy. Alright, the next horror film on Netflix is Ouija Origin of Evil. I think this is a very fun movie. It's like a prequel to Ouija, but this one's a lot better, I think. A little more intense. It's got the little girl from Annabelle Creation. She's in this, but I thought this was a really good movie, and it was way better than the other one. This is the prequel to Ouija, but this one's way better. It's got some cool vibes. Really fun movie. Now, the last horror film on Netflix I'm going to tell you to watch is The Pope's Exorcist. Now, this isn't the best exorcism movie out there, but I do think Russell Crowe does really good in this movie. This is kind of a generic run-of-the-mill exorcism film, but I had a good time with it. It's worth checking out for free on Netflix. So that's The Pope Exorcist with a pretty good performance by Russell Crowe. Alright, that was everything on Netflix I was going to tell you to watch. Now let's go to Shudder. Shudder is an all horror streaming channel. So I really like Shudder. It's a really good channel if you're a big horror fan or streaming site. So first thing on Shudder you should watch is The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Now this movie's got some very creepy vibes. It's like mostly an autopsy, but there's a lot more going on in this. That's all I'll say. If you want a good, creepy, really well done horror film, Autopsy of Jane Doe is a really good one. I'm going to give you a double dose of Dario Argento. We got Tenebrae and Phenomena. Two Dario Argento films that it took a couple watches to warm up to, but I actually really enjoy these movies. Tenebrae is sort of like a slasher film. I forgot that a giallo is what they call them. And then Phenomena is kind of like a slasher film / like Jennifer Connelly controls insects in this, and we got Donald Pleasance who plays Dr. Loomis from the original Halloween series is in this. So overall, I actually really enjoyed these movies. They're not the greatest movies, but I do suggest if you want a little bit of an Italian horror feel, watch Tenebrae and Phenomena. Alright, let's go watch another 80s slasher on Shudder, The House on Sorority Row. This is kind of your generic 80s slasher, but it's a really fun 80s slasher. Lots of hot girls in this movie, just a really fun 80s slasher. That another one, I won't tell you anything about the plot. Just watch this movie if you're just starting to get into 80s slashers or any slashers whatsoever. This is a really good one. Alright, that was everything on Shudder. Now the last streaming site, let's go to Amazon Prime. They have some good horror movies on there. First one you should watch. If you watch Terrifier on Tubi, go watch Terrifier 2 on Amazon Prime. I absolutely love Terrifier 2. It's just a crazy slasher film, kind of an 80s slasher film vibe, but they go really awesome, insane with the gore. Art the Clown is even better in this movie, and I think the final girl is also really awesome in Terrifier 2. So if you just want a bonkers film, Terrifier 2 is so awesome. And watch Terrifier 1 and 2 back to back. They go actually pretty well together. So there's Terrifier 2. Now watch Smile on Amazon Prime. Smile was a really fun horror movie that came out last year in 2022. A pretty good surprise for me. Really well done movie. Another one I won't say anything about. Just check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Very fun, cool horror movie that actually made a lot of money last year. Alright, let's end with fun. The last horror movie on Amazon Prime you should watch is Cocaine Bear. This isn't really horror, but it's more of a comedy. But this movie is so fun, and I highly recommend Cocaine Bear. I had such a blast with this movie. I think you'll have a good time with this movie. Just shut your brain off. Such a good time. Now guys, that was so many horror movies you should watch leading into Halloween, the rest of October, or whenever, anytime. But yeah, these streaming services have so many horror films right now. It's insane. Now guys, I have a lot more videos you could check out right here. I got like double features you should watch in October. I got underrated horror and thriller movies you should watch. Also I just ranked the Saw movie, so you could check that out with the brand new Saw movie, Saw X. But I will be seeing you guys really soon. I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.